Imagine a world where your peace is unshakable, where your joy is impenetrable, and where your purpose is unstoppable. This world exists, my friends, and it's within your grasp. Today, we're going to explore a powerful truth that can transform your life. Never react if someone hurts you. Now, I know what you're thinking, but how can I not react when someone hurts me? It's natural to feel pain, to feel anger, to want justice, and you're right, it is natural. But let me tell you something, we're not called to be natural, we're called to be natural, we're called to be supernatural. We're called to rise above our instincts and embrace a higher way of living. You see, when someone hurts you, they're operating from a place of limitation. They're acting out of their own pain, their own insecurities, their own misunderstandings. But you, my friend, you have the power to operate from a place of abundance, of understanding, of love. Think about it this way, when a child throws a tantrum, do we as adults throw a tantrum back? Of course not. We understand that the child is acting out of immaturity, out of a limited understanding of the world. We respond with patience, with guidance, with love. And that's exactly how we need to approach those who hurt us. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Oh no, it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. But it's also one of the most rewarding. Because when you choose not to react, you're choosing to maintain your power. You're choosing to protect your peace. You're choosing to preserve your purpose. Let me share a story with you. Back in my day, I knew a man, let's call him John. John was a successful businessman, respected in his community, a loving husband and father. But John had a short temper. If someone crossed him, he'd react immediately with harsh words, with threats, sometimes even with physical aggression. One day, a young employee made a mistake that cost John's company a significant amount of money. John was furious. He stormed into the office, ready to fire the young man on the spot. But just as he was about to explode, he remembered a piece of advice his grandfather had given him: never react if someone hurts you. Respond with wisdom instead. In that moment, John made a choice. Instead of reacting out of anger, he took a deep breath. He asked the young employee to explain what happened. As he listened, he realized that the mistake was due to a flaw in the company's training program, not the employee's incompetence. That day changed John's life. Instead of losing a potentially valuable employee, he gained a loyal team member who went on to save the company millions with his innovative ideas. More importantly, John learned the power of not reacting, of responding with wisdom instead. Now, you might be thinking, that's all well and good, but how do I actually do this? How do I not react when I'm hurt? Well, my friends, I'm glad you asked, because that's what we're going to explore today. We're going to uncover the secrets to maintaining your composure, preserving your peace, and protecting your purpose, even in the face of hurt and adversity. The first key is understanding. Understanding that hurt people hurt people. When someone lashes out at you, when they say hurtful things or do hurtful actions, it's not really about you. It's about their own pain, their own struggles, their own limitations. When you understand this, it becomes easier to respond with compassion rather than retaliation. Imagine you're walking down the street and someone bumps into you. If you knew that person was blind, would you get angry? Of course not. You'd understand that they didn't mean to bump into you, that it wasn't personal. Well, in many ways, people who hurt others are emotionally blind. They can't see the impact of their actions because they're blinded by their own pain. The second key is self-awareness. You need to be aware of your own emotions, your own triggers. When someone hurts you, pause for a moment. Notice how you feel. Are you angry? Sad? Disappointed? Don't judge these feelings, just observe them. This moment of self-awareness creates a space between the stimulus, the hurtful action, and your response. And in that space lies your power to choose. The third key is purpose. You need to be so focused on your purpose, so committed to your vision, that you don't have time to be offended. Imagine you're running a race. If someone tries to trip you, do you stop to argue with them? Do you chase after them for revenge? No. You keep your eyes on the finish line and you keep running. That's how we need to live our lives. We need to be so focused on our purpose, so committed to our goals, that we don't have time to be distracted by the hurtful actions of others. When you're living with purpose, offenses become minor inconveniences rather than major setbacks. The fourth key is forgiveness. Now, I know forgiveness is a tough pill to swallow, especially when the hurt is deep. But here's the truth: forgiveness isn't about the other person, it's about you. When you hold on to hurt, when you nurse grudges, you're the one who suffers. You're carrying a heavy burden that weighs you down and holds you back. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from that burden. It's about choosing your peace over your pain. It's about deciding that your future is more important than your past. The fifth key is growth. Every hurt, every offense, every painful experience is an opportunity for growth. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Maybe you need to learn to set better boundaries. Maybe you need to improve your communication skills. Maybe you need to reassess your relationships. When you approach hurt with a growth mindset, you transform your pain into progress. You turn your wounds into wisdom. You use your struggles as stepping stones to success. The sixth key is perspective. In the grand scheme of things, most offenses are minor. They're temporary inconveniences in the epic story of your life. When you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, you realize that many of the things that upset you today won't even matter a year from now, let alone 5 or 10 years from now. Cultivate a long-term perspective. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? If the answer is no, then it's not worth sacrificing your peace over. The seventh key is self-love. When you truly love yourself, when you value yourself, you don't allow the words or actions of others to define you. You know your worth isn't determined by how others treat you, but by how you treat yourself. Practice self-love daily. Affirm your worth. Celebrate your strengths. Embrace your uniqueness. When you're filled with self-love, hurtful words and actions bounce off you like water off a duck's back. The eighth key is empathy. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. What might they be going through? What pain might they be carrying? What fears might be driving their behavior? When you approach hurtful situations with empathy, you're more likely to respond with compassion rather than retaliation. The ninth key is boundaries. Not reacting doesn't mean being a doormat. It doesn't mean allowing others to treat you badly. It means responding with wisdom, and sometimes that wisdom means setting clear, firm boundaries. Learn to say no. Learn to walk away from toxic situations. Learn to communicate your limits clearly and respectfully. Boundaries aren't walls to keep people out, they're guidelines to teach people how to treat you. The 10th key is resilience. Resilience is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Every time you choose not to react, every time you respond with wisdom instead of anger, you're building your resilience muscle. Cultivate resilience through positive self-talk, through gratitude, through focusing on solutions rather than problems. The more resilient you become, the less power others' hurtful actions have over you. The 11th key is emotional intelligence. This is about understanding and managing your emotions effectively. It's about recognizing that emotions are signals, not commands. Just because you feel angry doesn't mean you have to act angry. Just because you feel hurt doesn't mean you have to lash out. Develop your emotional intelligence by practicing mindfulness, by learning to name and understand your emotions, by exploring the underlying beliefs and thoughts that drive your emotional responses. The 12th key is patience. Remember, personal growth is a journey, not a destination. You won't master the art of not reacting overnight. There will be times when you slip up, when you react in ways you later regret. That's okay. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate your progress. Learn from your setbacks. And keep moving forward. The 13th key is self-reflection. At the end of each day, take some time to reflect. How did you respond to challenging situations? What triggered you? What helped you maintain your composure? What could you have done differently? This daily practice of self-reflection accelerates your growth and helps you become more aware of your patterns. The 14th key is surrounding yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with have a huge impact on your behavior and mindset. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to be your best self, who encourage you to respond with wisdom rather than react with emotion. The 15th key is practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness helps you stay present, helps you observe your thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. When you're mindful, you're less likely to react impulsively and more likely to respond thoughtfully. The 16th key is reframing. This is about changing the way you view hurtful situations. Instead of seeing them as attacks, see them as opportunities. Opportunities to practice patience, to demonstrate love, to showcase your strength of character. The 17th key is focusing on what you can control. You can't control other people's actions, but you can control your response. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you interpret and react to what happens. By focusing on what you can control, you reclaim your power in any situation. The 18th key is practicing gratitude. When you're grateful, you're less likely to be offended. Why? Because gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right, from what you lack to what you have. Cultivate a habit of gratitude and watch how it transforms your responses to hurtful situations. The 19th key is developing a strong sense of self. When you know who you are, when you're secure in your identity, you're less affected by the opinions and actions of others. Invest time in self-discovery. Understand your values, your strengths, your purpose. The stronger your sense of self, the less power others' hurtful actions have over you. The 20th key is practicing empowering self-talk. The way you talk to yourself has a huge impact on how you respond to others. Replace disempowering thoughts like I can't handle this, or they always hurt me, with empowering ones like I choose peace over conflict, or I am strong enough to respond with wisdom. The 21st key is learning from role models. Study people who exemplify the art of not reacting. Look at historical figures like Nelson Mandela or Mahatma Gandhi. How did they maintain their composure in the face of immense adversity? What can you learn from their examples? The 22nd key is understanding the power of pause. When someone hurts you, your immediate reaction might be to lash out. But if you can pause even for just a few seconds, you give yourself the opportunity to choose your response rather than react impulsively. The 23rd key is practicing non-attachment. This doesn't mean not caring, but rather not allowing your happiness to be dependent on external circumstances or other people's behavior. When you're not attached to outcomes, when you're not dependent on others for your joy, you're less likely to be hurt by their actions. The 24th key is cultivating inner peace. The more peaceful you are on the inside, the less likely you are to be disturbed by external events. Cultivate inner peace through meditation, through connecting with nature, through engaging in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. The 25th key is understanding the law of cause and effect. When you react negatively to someone's hurtful action, you're perpetuating a cycle of negativity. But when you respond with wisdom and compassion, you're creating positive ripples that can transform not just your life, but the lives of those around you. The 26th key is developing emotional resilience. This is about bouncing back quickly from emotional setbacks. It's about not allowing a hurtful comment or action to ruin your entire day. Develop emotional resilience by practicing self-care, by maintaining a positive outlook, by focusing on your long-term goals rather than short-term discomforts. The 27th key is understanding the power of your attention. What you focus on expands. If you focus on how someone hurt you, that hurt grows. But if you focus on your blessings, your purpose, your growth, those positive aspects of your life expand. The 28th key is practicing radical acceptance. This doesn't mean approving of hurtful behavior, but accepting that it happened. When you fight against reality, when you resist what is, you create additional suffering for yourself. Acceptance frees you to respond effectively rather than react emotionally. The 29th key is understanding the power of your energy. Your energy is precious. When you react to every hurt, to every slight, you're giving away your energy to people in situations that don't deserve it. Choose wisely where you invest your energy. The 30th key is cultivating wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to see the bigger picture, to understand the deeper truths of life. As you cultivate wisdom, you'll find yourself naturally responding to hurt with understanding rather than reacting with anger. The 31st key is practicing nonviolence in thought, word, and deed. Nonviolence isn't just about physical actions, it's also about your thoughts and words. When someone hurts you, resist the urge to think violent thoughts, to speak harsh words, to act in ways that perpetuate harm. The 32nd key is understanding the power of your example. When you choose not to react, when you respond with wisdom and compassion, you're setting a powerful example for others. You're showing that there's a better way to handle conflict and hurt. The 33rd key is practicing self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when you struggle with not reacting. Recognize that it's a challenging skill to master. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding that you're striving to show others. The 34th key is understanding the power of your choices. In every moment you have a choice. You can choose to react or you can choose to respond. You can choose to perpetuate hurt or you can choose to promote healing. Remember, your power lies in your choices. The 35th key is cultivating a growth mindset. See every hurtful situation as an opportunity to grow, to become stronger, to develop greater wisdom and compassion. With a growth mindset, even the most painful experiences become valuable lessons. The 36th key is practicing detachment. This doesn't mean not caring, but rather not allowing your sense of self to be dependent on others' opinions or actions. When you're detached, you can observe hurtful situations objectively rather than reacting emotionally. The 37th key is understanding the power of your presence. When you're fully present, when you're not caught up in past hurts or future fears, you're better able to respond to current situations with clarity and wisdom. The 38th key is cultivating inner strength. The stronger you are on the inside, the less affected you'll be by external negativity. Build your inner strength through personal development, through overcoming challenges, through staying true to your values even when it's difficult. The 39th key is practicing forgiveness as a way of life. Don't wait until hurts accumulate to practice forgiveness. Make it a daily habit. Forgive the small things immediately. This builds your capacity to forgive the bigger hurts when they come. The 40th key is understanding the power of your perspective. How you view a situation determines how you respond to it. If you see someone's hurtful action as a personal attack, you're likely to react defensively. But if you see it as a cry for help or a reflection of their own pain, you're more likely to respond with compassion. The 41st key is cultivating emotional maturity. Emotional maturity is about responding to situations based on your values and long-term goals rather than your immediate emotions. It's about choosing your responses rather than being at the mercy of your reactions. The 42nd key is practicing non-judgment. When you judge others harshly, you create a mindset that's prone to taking offense. Practice suspending judgment. Instead of labeling actions as good or bad, simply observe them for what they are. The 43rd key is understanding the power of your identity. If you identify as someone who is easily offended, you'll find reasons to be offended. But if you identify as someone who is understanding and compassionate, you'll naturally lean towards those responses. The 44th key is cultivating inner peace as your default state. When inner peace is your norm, external disturbances have less power to upset you. It's like being the eye of the storm calm and steady even when there's chaos around you. The 46th key is cultivating emotional intelligence. This involves not only understanding your own emotions, but also being able to recognize and empathize with the emotions of others. When you can accurately perceive and understand the emotional states of those around you, you're better equipped to respond appropriately, even when they act in hurtful ways. Emotional intelligence allows you to see beyond the surface level behaviors and understand the underlying feelings and needs driving those actions. It's about developing the ability to read between the lines, to hear what's not being said, and to respond to the deeper emotional currents at play in any given situation. The 47th key is practicing mindfulness in your daily life. Mindfulness isn't just about meditation, it's about bringing a quality of present moment awareness to everything you do. When you're mindful, you're less likely to react automatically to perceived slights or hurts. Instead, you're able to observe your thoughts and emotions with a degree of detachment, giving you the space to choose your response consciously. Mindfulness also helps you to stay grounded in the present moment rather than getting caught up in past hurts or future worries. This present focused awareness can significantly reduce the likelihood of overreacting to current situations based on past experiences or future fears. The 48th key is developing a strong sense of purpose. When you have a clear sense of purpose in your life, minor hurts and offenses tend to lose their power over you. You become so focused on your mission, on what you're trying to achieve in the world, that you simply don't have the time or energy to get caught up in petty conflicts or take offense at every little slight. Having a strong sense of purpose also provides a broader perspective. It helps you to see the bigger picture and recognize that most offenses are ultimately insignificant in the grand scheme of things. This doesn't mean you ignore genuine injustices, but rather that you choose your battles wisely, focusing your energy on what truly matters. The 49th key is cultivating resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to recover quickly from setbacks. When you're resilient, hurtful actions or words don't have the power to knock you off course for long. You're able to acknowledge the hurt, process it, learn from it if there's a lesson to be learned, and then move forward. Building resilience involves developing a growth mindset, practicing self-care, maintaining supportive relationships, and learning to reframe negative experiences in a more positive or constructive light. It's about developing the inner strength to weather life's storms without losing your sense of self or your commitment to your values. The 50th key is practicing radical acceptance. This doesn't mean you approve of or condone hurtful behavior. Rather, it means you accept reality as it is without wasting energy fighting against what has already happened. When you practice radical acceptance, you're able to see situations clearly without the distorting lens of denial or wishful thinking. Radical acceptance allows you to respond to hurtful situations from a place of clarity and strength, rather than reacting from a place of resistance or victimhood. It's about acknowledging this happened and then asking, how do I want to respond? Rather than getting stuck in feelings of this shouldn't have happened or why did this happen to me? The 51st key is developing a strong sense of self-worth that's independent of others' opinions or actions. When your self-worth is rock solid, rooted in a deep understanding and acceptance of who you are, other people's hurtful actions or words don't have the power to shake your foundation. This doesn't mean you become arrogant or dismissive of others. Rather, it means you have such a clear sense of your own value that you don't need constant external validation. You can hear criticism without being devastated by it, and you can experience rejection without it destroying your sense of self. The 52nd key is practicing empathy, even or especially towards those who hurt you. Empathy doesn't excuse hurtful behavior, but it can help you understand it. When you can put yourself in the other person's shoes, when you can imagine what might be driving their actions, it becomes easier to respond with compassion rather than retaliation. Empathy also helps to break the cycle of hurt. When you respond to hurt with more hurt, you perpetuate a negative cycle. But when you respond with empathy and understanding, you create the possibility for healing and growth, both for yourself and for the other person. The 53rd key is cultivating patience. In our fast-paced world, we often expect instant results and immediate responses. But true growth and change take time. Learning not to react when someone hurts you is a skill that develops gradually through consistent practice and effort. Patience is also crucial in the moment when you're faced with a hurtful situation. Taking a pause, even for just a few seconds, can make the difference between an impulsive reaction and a thoughtful response. Patience gives you the space to choose your response, rather than being at the mercy of your immediate emotional reactions. The 54th key is developing a practice of self-reflection. Regular self-reflection allows you to examine your responses to hurtful situations, learn from your experiences, and continually refine your approach. It's about asking yourself questions like, how did I handle that situation? What triggered my reaction? What could I have done differently? What can I learn from this experience? Self-reflection isn't about beating yourself up over mistakes or imperfect responses. It's about honest, compassionate self-examination with the goal of ongoing growth and improvement. It's a powerful tool for developing greater self-awareness and emotional intelligence. The 55th key is cultivating a sense of humor. This doesn't mean laughing off genuine hurt or making light of serious situations. Rather, it's about developing the ability to find lightness even in difficult moments, to not take yourself too seriously, and to maintain perspective. A sense of humor can be a powerful tool for diffusing tension both within yourself and in your interactions with others. It can help you to step back from a situation and see it from a different angle, often revealing absurdities or ironies that can take the sting out of hurtful experiences. The 56th key is practicing forgiveness as an ongoing process, not a one-time event. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It's about choosing to release the negative emotions associated with the hurt for your own sake rather than for the other person's. Forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. It's something you may need to choose again and again, especially for deep hurts. But each time you choose forgiveness, you free yourself a little more from the power that hurt holds over you. The 57th key is cultivating inner peace as your default state. When you're at peace within yourself, external disturbances have less power to knock you off balance. This inner peace comes from a deep acceptance of yourself and your life, a trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way, and a connection to something larger than yourself, whether that's a spiritual belief, a sense of purpose, or a feeling of connection to all of humanity. Cultivating inner peace is an ongoing practice. It might involve meditation, prayer, time in nature, creative expression, or any other activities that help you feel centered and grounded. The more you can maintain this sense of inner peace, the less reactive you'll be to external provocations. The 58th key is understanding the power of your focus. What you focus on tends to expand in your experience. If you focus on how you've been hurt, on the unfairness of a situation, or on getting even, you'll likely find more reasons to feel hurt, unfairness, and a desire for revenge. But if you focus on learning, growing, and moving forward, that's what will expand in your life. This doesn't mean ignoring or denying hurt when it happens. It means acknowledging it, processing it in a healthy way, and then consciously choosing where to direct your energy and attention going forward. The 59th key is practicing nonviolence in thought, word, and deed. Nonviolence isn't just about physical actions, it extends to your thoughts and words as well. When someone hurts you, it's natural to have angry or violent thoughts.